I'm going to bring this up with you, and I'm sure, as you pointed out last time, every human being brings it up with you. The pass interference that didn't get called in the NFC Championship game, and you, as a member of the competition committee, certainly helped spearhead the change that we're going to see this fall, at least for 1 year. Al Riveron, the head of NFL refs, came and presented to the NFL media group how this is going to work, and we were all stunned in the room, Sean, to be very honest with you, because we couldn't agree half the time on whether a play was OPI or DPI, or would we have thrown a flag on the play in real time, or would we have picked it up through replay, would we have instituted a flag on the field for all that stuff, and all that conversation, including looking under the hood and seeing, because instant replay, you could review whatever is reviewable, OPI, offensive pass interference, being called via replay to make an offsetting penalty. And none of that stuff is what I believe was the intent of what you spearheaded. I wonder what you think about the potential unintended consequences of this 1 year project.
Well, hopefully they're minimal. We're not splitting an atom here. And I think sometimes we collectively can certainly complicate things ourselves. We're from the very beginning, clear and obvious has been a standard that the coaches have spoken about. We understand that if it goes to, and let's back up, I think, for the fan, just to make sure that everyone understands it. These challenges are going to fall just like our normal challenges do. And so I don't think you're going to have or see a lot of them. We still start the game with 2 challenge flags. And, it's 2019. I kid all the time, but it's literally a challenge flag is a orange handkerchief with 2 ounces of sand and 2 rubber bands around it. And when we disagree with the call, we launch that onto the field. So, with only having 2 of them, coaches are going to make sure that they certainly have one towards the end of games. You get a third if your first 2 are right. And so PI, pass interference, and offensive pass interference are added to this. And I think when you add significant penalties like that could be worth more, call it the bonus round or more points, than whether a player was inbounds or out of bounds for a gain of 8 yards. I think you're going to see not more challenge flags, but I think you're going to see less actually. Inside of 2 minutes, then the upstairs group can stop a play. But I think from my perspective, the third down plays, I don't have to worry about the scoring plays. They already go to review. So it's the big plays where I feel like something occurred, certainly last year's play in our game, that would have fallen to the replay official, and that was kind of clear and obvious. So I like to explain it that way and start that way. I don't think we're going to have a ton of game stoppages because, again, we haven't changed the challenge numbers. I do think another important element to these games as we get into the postseason is the elimination of the all-star crews. And what I mean by that is, all the officials that have graded out the highest singularly, as opposed to as a crew, end up working games with other officials that have graded out the highest, but they haven't worked games together before, or they haven't worked games certainly as many as they have with the crew that they were with all season. I think that had as much to do with why when you look at a player, a foul that's missed, at that very moment, there's 2 guys that are working the game that have never really worked together before. And I think that's human nature. One's going to acquiesce to the other if he feels like he has it. Where if they'd worked week by week together and had been part of the same crew, I think it's a lot easier to say, no, I got a better look at that. So, but I don't think I'm hopeful, and I don't think it's going to be that traumatic of a change. I think we're going to have to see clear evidence. And the play you're referring to, there was OPI. Again, when we go to the challenge system and we go under the hood and we look at it in New York, then at that moment, any of the any of the fouls or any of the plays that are subject to review, you're looking at a catch, no catch, but while you're looking, you notice that a foot's out of bounds or something else has occurred, then that's subject to be part of the review. But I don't think it's going to add. I don't think it's going to open up a Pandora's box of other issues.
Our all-star crews, again, fans are thinking about the beginning of the season, training camp, fantasy teams, but for the mind's eye, for the playoffs, are all-star crews going to be banned, or you're not? That's gone?
I think
That's
they're
history?
going back to really grading the overall crew performance. That was something we finished discussing at the owners' meetings and agreed upon. Because at that moment, if you and I have never met and we're playing golf, the first 6-7 holes, we're gonna, there's a certain chemistry that exists maybe or that doesn't exist than if we were the regular Friday tee time. And I think in that case, you can actually see that take place with two officials that hadn't worked together. One felt he had a pretty good angle on it. Actually, he didn't. And the other had an outstanding angle. It was the same angle we had as coaches and players on the sideline. And he acquiesced to the veteran official that he just began working with that day. So that'll be a change this year in postseason. You're going to see the crews basically, for the most part, be the crews that work together all year.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download The Rich Eisen Show app.